Hey everyone, I'm super excited to present our next candidate for Project 1000 Hire. Today we have coming all the way from Portland, we have Anya. So first of all, Anya, thank you so much for joining us on this initiative.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm really excited. I think what you're doing is really incredible, especially during this time when, so many people are out of work. I just want to say thank you for including me in this.
First of all, it's our pleasure, not even a question. So first of all, Anya, for us to get to know you better, why don't you give us a brief description of who you are and where you're from?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in a small town on the central coast of Oregon, and it has sort of just happened that I've stayed here in the Northwest through a few different roles and opportunities that I've had. I've recently came back to Portland. I was up in Seattle for a while, but I came back to Portland for a role with a tech company where I focus on operations and hospitality. Before that, I worked in boutique hotels from the front desk to sales and catering, conference services. I did social media, a little bit of PR photography as well. Before that, I was actually a visual merchandiser, so I did that for a few years. And then I also started my own business when I was 13 and ran that for about 11 years. So
Wow.
kind of worked for quite a while, and I've always had a job. And I grew up traveling, which has been really great. And even though I've kind of stayed in the Northwest up until now, I've definitely been able to explore and kind of adventure out there, which has always been kind of a true passion of mine.
Wow, super cool. So multiple roles, multiple jobs, multiple experiences, multiple things. Amazing. So I'm assuming that you probably have multiple personal projects that you also have done. So why don't you tell us about like a personal accomplishment, a project you're working on, you worked on that you're super proud of?
Yeah, so kind of like I said, I've essentially been working since I was 13. And so being laid off recently due to COVID-19, I kind of found myself in like a strange position of this is the first time that I haven't had a job. And it was a very kind of weird time. In the first few weeks, I didn't really know what to do. I had to kind of shift my way of thinking. I had to reprioritize what was important to me, kind of focus on myself. And so what I tend to do in those situations is I ask myself questions. So one of the questions that I ask myself is, what's something that I'm no longer doing that I kind of lost passion on, and I wish that I was doing again?
Okay.
And one of the other questions, and my favorite question, is why.
Mhm.
So I grew up, creating art and doing anything that I could do and get my hands on. And I just always loved creating. And not until recently did I realize that I kind of lost that passion. I didn't really spend much time on it, and it was something that I wanted to start doing again. And I kind of stopped pushing myself as well. So I figured with this time that I should kind of get back into that and push myself and try something new.
Yeah.
And so the thing that I've been working on, the project that I've been working on, is writing a children's book. And I've never written a book. I'm not a writer. The longest thing that I've ever written is probably a paper for school. Um, but I have a niece and nephews, and I really want to create something for them. And I'm a very proud aunt. And I studied graphic design in school, and so that's kind of where I'm starting. I have a little bit of background in it, so I figured if I can draw a story, maybe I can write one. So very beginning stages, but something that I'm working on and during this time in quarantine.
Wow, that is absolutely super cool. I can't wait to see you as a #1 bestseller on Amazon. Come at their front page, a book, children's book by Anya. It's amazing.
Maybe it's just gonna go to them, but maybe it'll get pushed out there
You
sometime.
never know.
Yeah.
So why don't we flip the script a little bit and tell us about a personal challenge that you're able to overcome.
Yeah, so I've always been a people person. I love talking to and meeting new people. And there's just something about that human connection that really can't be beat. And that's why I really love the philosophy of my last job at Hello Alfred. It was a very human powered and human focused company. And when I left the role prior to this one, for most of my clients, I never really got a chance to meet them in person. All my communication was via email and over the phone. And so I was really excited to get back to kind of focusing on that human connection. But shortly after I started, I was tasked to pivot my attention away from our Portland team and market and focus on helping the San Diego market launch. At first, I kind of struggled with how I was going to implement the concept of human connection with our team in the field, our clients, partners, and vendors, while I sat in an office here in Portland. I knew I needed to approach kind of what I was doing differently and what I was going to be doing in that role if I was, working in market, like how I was going to implement that. And so again, I started to ask myself questions, from if I was in the field in San Diego and directly communicating with someone who had never even been to San Diego, who knew nothing about the area, what would I want them to do to make me feel as though we were one team? And another question was, if I was not working remotely and actually in an office in San Diego, what would I be doing differently than what I'm doing now? And how can I still implement those, um, ideas and concepts? I'm ultimately very proud of what I was able to do and help launch that San Diego market. And I'm definitely taking away the experience of asking myself questions. And I continue to still do that of, how can I be better and how can I be better at what I'm doing?
Wow, amazing. So I know, the next company you go to, you obviously bring tremendous creative mindset, optimism, growth to whichever position you're going to have. So, but why don't you tell us about what are you looking for in your next role?
Yeah, so kind of when I look back at, the different roles that I've had, it's always kind of been very client focused and relationship building with the client. So from working at the front desk of boutique hotels to growing an online presence in social media to even my first business, I've always wanted to focus on what the client needs and wants and how I can help, bring those things to them. So I really hope to be able to do that in my next role.
Amazing. So first of all, I want to thank you so much for coming on this project. And second of all, I want to wish you a ton of success and blessings. And we're going to do everything in our power to send all the opportunities your way. Because I know wherever you're going to be, you're going to make a massive difference. So ton of luck. Good luck.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.